guys, it's Gracie Moody, and I'm back again to read chapters 23 and 24 of Treasure Island. It was originally written by Robert Louis Stevenson, but it's since then been adapted to a children's book. Chapter 23, On Parole. We were all wakened by a hearty voice calling to us from the edge of the woods. It was Dr. Livesey. Although I was glad to hear his voice, I was ashamed that I sneaked out and deserted them. "Hello, Doctor. Top of the morning to you, sir," cried Silver. "We've quite a surprise for you. A new boarder and lodger, sir." I could hear the doctor's voice change as he said, "Not Jim." "The very same Jim as ever was," said Silver. The doctor seemed shocked, but insisted on examining his patients before turning his attention to me. "Well, well," he said at last. He asked if he could speak to me alone. The men protested, but Silver turned on them. "Silence!" he roared. They all backed down. "Hawkins," said Silver, "will you give me your word of honor as a young gentleman not to run away?" I gave him my word. Then Silver asked the doctor to step outside and said that he would bring me down to meet him. As soon as the doctor was out the door, the men started barking and yelling at each other again. "You fools!" roared Silver. "Do you really want me to break our truce on the very day we're going treasure hunting?" He waved the treasure map in their faces. Then he walked me to the door and toward the doctor. Once we got there, he said, "Now, Doctor, I saved this boy's life. Keep that in mind. I'll step aside and leave you and Jim alone." With that, he left me alone with the doctor, who scolded me and called me a coward until I told him my incredible story. "You found the ship?" he said. "It seems that at every step, it's you that saves our lives." He then tried to talk me into breaking my word and coming with him, but I wouldn't. I had given an oath. Then he called for Silver to come over. A word of advice: don't try to find that treasure. "I have to, or they'll kill me," said Silver. "Well, then I warn you to beware of high winds at sea," said the doctor. "Silver, if we both get out alive, I'll do my best to save you. Just promise me to keep the boy close beside you." "You couldn't say more, sir. Not if you was my own mother," said Silver. Silver and the doctor shook hands. Then Dr. Livesey said goodbye to me and set off at a brisk pace. Chapter 24, The Treasure Hunt, Flint's Pointer. "Jim, if I saved your life, you've saved mine," said Silver. "I will not forget it. I heard the doctor telling you to run for it, and you said no. Now we're going treasure hunting. We need to stick close to each other and to have each other's backs." But then at breakfast, Silver bragged to the men that they would soon have the treasure and would set sail with me as hostage. I knew he had his foot in both camps. If they knew about his loyalty to the doctor and me, we'd have to fight them off. He, a man with one leg, and me, a boy, against 5 pirates. After breakfast, we all set out for the beach, where the 2 rowboats awaited us. We had several weapons each, and Silver led the group, Captain Flint on his shoulder jabbering. We had trouble following the map. The Red Cross was far too large to be a guide, and the notes were confusing. A tall pine tree seemed to be the main mark, yet there were many tall trees. The men argued over which tree was the tallest, but Silver hushed them and said we'd know soon enough. We had more difficulty walking once we moved into the dense jungle. Suddenly, we heard one of the crew cry out. We went up to him and found him staring down at a skeleton of a man lying by a tree. "That's no way for bones to lie," said Silver. "It ain't natural. Look how he's laid out straight." Silver pulled out his compass and took a bearing along the straight line of the bones. "It's just what I thought," he said. "This is a pointer. It's one of Flint's jokes. This is one of the men he killed." "I never did like that Flint," said one of the pirates. "He's cursed us." We kept moving at Silver's orders, but the carefree attitude was gone. The men walked closely and quietly. Flint's terrifying skeleton pointer had dampened everyone's spirits. Alrighty, that's the end of chapter 24, but I'll see you for the last episode next week. Bye!